Hey guys, my name's Drew, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to run code in LabVIEW. So in last week's video, Aiden talked about how to create a project file, which has all of the code structure for you. And then this week, we're going to talk about how you can actually run your code. So the first thing I want you to notice is we are on the Project Explorer page. So this is your project structure. And as you can see, you've got your project and then you've got your My Computer. So this has all under here is where you put all your files that you need to run on your local machine. And then you've got your target, which is where you'd run everything under that is what you'd run on your RoboRIO. And as you can see, that is a picture of the RoboRIO on the left. So there are actually two ways to connect to the robot, which you need to do before you run the robot. And there's also two ways to run code on the robot. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is how you connect to the robot. So there are two ways. The first is going to be wired, which is through USB-B. So if you right-click on target and then hit this options and go to property, you see there's this IP address. So if you're ever going over USB-B, that's going to be 172.22.11.2. So you hit that and then you hit save. And then now once you've done that, if you've got power to your robot, if you hit right click again and hit connect, you should be able to connect to your robot. And this green LED right here will light up. This process does take a second or two, so just give it that. But yeah. So now that's done, you can see it's got its green LED there. So you're connected. And then the other way I wanted to run is wirelessly. So every FR bot has a wireless radio, which provides its own network name, and you can connect to that. So that's the second way, which we're going to do right now. And as you can see, we've lost connection to the target because I unplugged wirelessly. So first, you're going to have to change your properties name. So you're going to have to change your IP address to a certain one for each robot. So your radio, you program that to your team number. So you do 10, which is universal for every team, and then dot, and then your first two numbers in your team. So 24 for us, and then 68, the last two, 68 for us, and then again a universal dot 2. So just to reiterate, you're going to have the 10, and then the dot, and then the 24.68 is depends on our team, and then you're going to have the dot 2 at the end. And you hit save. Now you've hit OK, and then, like I said, you have to connect to its network name. So if you hit your Wi-Fi, you should be able to see a pop-up list. And if you see this, it's got your team number and then your name of the robot, in this case, Rose. So you hit connect on that. And one thing to note is this will disconnect you from Wi-Fi, so be aware of that. So once you've got that connected, you should be able to do the same thing and hit connect here. And similar process, it's going to take a second, but that green LED right there, it just popped up, means you're connected. So now that you've connected to the robot, you need to run code on the robot. And there are two ways to do that. So one is through robot main. So if you open up this VI, just double click on that. It's going to pop up. And this basically has all the code you need to run your robot. So once you've opened that up, you can just hit that run arrow. And this will take a second. It actually takes longer if you have more robot code, but since we're just using the basics, it doesn't take too long. But once this taskbar finishes, you're going to be running code on your robot. And obviously, we're wireless right now. So give that just a second. Should be done. And now you've got running code. As you can see, your arrow's bolded to signify you're running. And then you've got the stop button if you need to stop running. One thing to note is your robot won't turn on because you've got safety features and not enabled in the driver station. So you need to open that up and enable your robot to actually have the code run and do stuff. But this is the first step. So I'm going to stop this right here, and then we're going to go into the second version, a way of running code, which is building and then deploying. So running from robot main, it's useful because it doesn't take as long as deployment, and it's good for like testing because you can change values quickly and then you can run and you keep running. If you want to run it, if you want to build it and then deploy it, it's going to take more time. So what we do is for competitions, when we've got all our code finalized or long periods of time without needing to change code, we'll build it and then deploy it. So the first thing you do is you hit build here. And you should build. One thing to note is you can actually build while you're connecting to your robot. Normally, once you power on your robot, it takes it takes like a minute to get your radio up and your wire and your code up. So it's a good time to build while you're turning on your robot. And this will take a while. Just be patient, stick through it. So as you can see here, it's finished done. It's finished building. It says done, you can see. So you hit done, and then the next thing you do is you run it as a startup. And that pretty much happens instantaneously. And so now all the code is stored on the robot. And this is, so it's actually, if you turn off power and you reboot, the code will still be stored on the robot. So that's another added functionality of building and deploying. And all you have to do is you have to enable and disable it in the driver station. So that's pretty much an overview of how you connect to the robot and then how you deploy your code. So that's pretty much it. And I'll see you guys later.